Many teachers express their years of silent dedication to education, yet they have not received the social security and fair treatment they deserve. Rising living costs and increasing expenses for retirement and healthcare have intensified their dissatisfaction. On December 5th, about 300 retired teachers assembled in front of the Wuchang city government in Liaoning Province to protest the government's failure to pay their heating expenses. The protesting teachers revealed that hundreds of teachers from 28 towns in Wuchang City have been owed heating fees for 2 years with no clear resolution, despite multiple attempts at defending their rights. On the day of the protest, the mayor personally met with 5 representatives and promised that the government was working on the issue, aiming to provide a clear result by the end of the month. However, it remains uncertain whether the teachers will receive the compensation they deserve. Simultaneously, a teacher salary protest erupted in Hunan. A netizen posted a video showing a large group of retired teachers demanding salaries in front of the Zhuhua Demonstration Area Management Committee in Xiangtan City. The video featured teachers singing songs in support of the Communist Party, prompting netizens to question, Chinese people sing the national and party songs whenever there's trouble. Don't they realize it's the Chinese Communist Party causing their problems? On the evening of November 2nd, hundreds of teachers gathered at the entrance of the Jingxian County government in Nancheng City, Jiangxi Province, shouting slogans like, "We need to survive," and "We can't live like this," to protest against the government's delay in paying performance wages. The person speaking through a megaphone in the video appears to be a school official, negotiating with the teachers, urging them not to protest and recognizing them as teachers from Jingxian County, despite wearing masks. The teachers responded with shouts of, "Don't threaten us." The standoff remained tense. On November 3rd, in Jingxian County, Nancheng City, Jiangxi Province, over 1,000 teachers converged at the county government's doors, demanding the settlement of owed performance wages. The video captures the scene as night falls, with large crowds fervently chanting, "We need to survive. We must fight for our livelihood and give back the teachers' hard-earned dues." In Liaoning City, Jiangxi Province, teachers are facing delayed salaries, prompting them to protest for performance pay and equal pay for equal work. Netizens commented on this event, stating, "This is the reality in some cities, soon to escalate and spread across industries and urban areas. These teachers should use this undeniable fact to educate the next generation about the world's most malevolent organization, telling students that only by abolishing the Chinese Communist Party can they protect themselves, and whether it thrives or perishes, the people suffer. The only reliable solution is to eliminate the Chinese Communist Party." The question arises, why are teacher protests becoming increasingly frequent? The answer is simple. Without salaries and money, survival becomes impossible. Teaching, traditionally considered a secure profession in China, is now also vulnerable, a truly alarming development. The inability of schools to pay salaries is not just a reflection of the school's financial problems. It's indicative of China's overall economic downturn, with government poverty and local fiscal pressures exceeding imagination. Several deep-seated landmines in the economy could detonate at any moment. Statistics show that since China's relaxation of its one-child policy in 2016, the peak of 17.2 million births was reached in 2017. However, this number has since plummeted by approximately 2 million annually. By the end of 2022, the national population decreased by 850,000 people compared to the previous year, marking the onset of negative population growth. With the decline in newborns, kindergartens were the first to feel the impact, soon followed by primary and secondary schools. Recent years have seen countless examples of private school closures and public school mergers nationwide. The operating funds of private schools mainly come from tuition fees, which are closely tied to student numbers. When schools face enrollment shortages, reduced tuition income leads to financial difficulties, affecting the regular payment of staff salaries. The inability of public schools to pay wages is closely related to the government's financial situation. Moreover, China has a significant number of previously dismissed private teachers and current substitute teachers who are not included in the official employment system. Like the vast number of migrant workers in China, these teachers' wages and benefits are not secured. These private teachers mainly teach in rural primary schools. In the 1950s, due to a shortage of public teachers and educational funds, local authorities often nominated knowledgeable youths with at least a junior high school education to teach. These individuals would work in the fields like other farmers, receiving a monthly cash subsidy from the state for their teaching services. According to Chinese government statistics, there were 4.9 million private teachers nationwide in 1977. However, starting from October 1979, the State Council began reducing their numbers through regularization and dismissal processes. Due to various reasons, not all private teachers were converted into public ones. According to reports, in the 1990s, due to insufficient investment in education, privately hired substitute teachers, despite their low wages, remained a crucial pillar of rural compulsory education in China. Statistics of the time indicate that rural areas had over 3 million substitute teachers, constituting a third of the national total of primary and secondary school staff. Many dismissed and retired private teachers, having dedicated 2 to 3 decades to education, found themselves without any security in retirement. Despite national directives offering assistance, many local governments failed to implement these measures, leading to widespread petitioning and rights protection efforts by private teachers. As the backbone of school education, teachers are deeply troubled. The inability to pay salaries not only dampens their enthusiasm, but could also adversely affect teaching quality and the school's overall reputation. Government support is crucial in times of financial distress in schools, ensuring the healthy development of the education system. Through financial measures like providing loans and reducing tax burdens, governments can offer emergency aid to schools, helping them overcome difficulties. Speaking of financial issues, recent years have seen numerous anomalies. For instance, provinces like Harbin, Shanxi, and Hubei undertook large-scale clearance of off-the-books employees, eliminating those with lower pay and higher workloads. Even central state organs are implementing staff reductions, planning to cut 5% of their personnel. Additionally, incidents like bus service suspensions and heating stoppages in places like Shangchu in Hunan, Baoding in Hebei, and Hugang in Heilongjiang have occurred. There have been reports of an elderly person fined 100,000 yuan for selling vegetables and a truck driver receiving 58 fines totaling 275,000 yuan in 2 years. While there have been no cases of standard urban investment bond defaults nationwide, there have been 7 technical defaults, among many other similar incidents. The root of these issues boils down to 3 words: lack of funds. A few examples illustrate this clearly. On May 26th, the Changjiang Daily in China published a full-page debt collection notice from the Wuhan Municipal Finance Bureau and Wuhan Changjiang Asset Operation and Management. The notice detailed 259 debts and their outstanding principal amounts as of the end of 2018. These debtors included district finance bureaus, research institutions, state-owned enterprises, listed companies, and a few private enterprises, with debts ranging from thousands to tens of millions of yuan, totaling over 100 million yuan. Repayment of debts should be straightforward, yet among these units were those owing money to finance bureaus and subordinate units indebted to superior ones, a perplexing and unexpected situation indeed. In the first half of this year, mainland media reported that following the intense competition that led to the transformation of teachers, nurses, and clerks from official posts to contract-based positions, an additional 32 types of public posts have now been adjusted to contract work. These positions span various sectors, including hotels, guest houses, farms, breeding farms, consulting services, grain storage, and areas like libraries and movie theaters. With the transition of staff from official to contract positions, there is a potential elimination of various benefits, such as retirement pensions and health insurance. Traditionally, public posts offer better social security benefits, and converting these to contract-based roles could lead to the loss or reduction of these benefits, impacting both individuals and their families financially. Furthermore, recent years have seen a steep increase in medical insurance costs in China, leading thousands to drop out of the medical insurance system. This is a significant issue, as the National Medical Insurance Business Development Statistical Bulletin revealed that last year, the number of people enrolled in basic medical insurance in China decreased by 17 million from the previous year, with resident medical insurance decreasing by 25 million. The official explanation for this decrease is an improvement in insurance quality and the removal of duplicate insurance data. Experts have also cited reasons like better health among middle-aged people, a narrow benefit range of medical insurance, and lower medical expenditure for the elderly. However, these explanations overlook whether people can afford insurance premiums. A report by Voice of America pointed out that public distrust in medical insurance and economic difficulties are the 2 core factors behind people dropping out. It is important to note that while medical insurance costs increase yearly, the list of drugs covered by insurance keeps shrinking. Sadly, in 20 years, the cost of resident medical insurance in China has risen from 10 yuan to 380 yuan, while the average salary of migrant workers has only increased by 24%. Xu Min, a resident of Nanjing, observed that recent government budget constraints have led to the establishment of various obstacles, increasing the proportion of expenses borne by the public. For example, a routine medication her father has been using suddenly became entirely self-funded this year, forcing them to consider alternatives. Moreover, the services covered by medical insurance are becoming increasingly limited, like the rehabilitation exercise therapy that was reduced from twice to once daily over the past 2 years. In February last year, official media stated that provinces had sorted out the unified collection and expenditure of provincial pension insurance and were preparing for the so-called national coordination. In February this year, Zhou Xiaochuan, the former governor of the People's Bank of China, stated at the 5th Global Wealth Management Forum that to achieve a more satisfactory level of pension funds, support from individual account pensions was needed. This statement raised concerns among Chinese netizens, wondering if this was a move to meddle with their pensions. There are claims that the Chinese Communist Party has zeroed out medical insurance funds within 3 years under the guise of coordination, reducing medical insurance expenses. The pension fund in China is also rumored to have been in deep deficit. The push for national coordination of pensions is likely due to a lack of funds to fill this gap. The question arises, why are local finances struggling? The case of Sichuan is quite illustrative. There was news about the Leishan Giant Buddha scenic area's sightseeing vehicles and stalls 30-year operating rights being sold for 1.7 billion yuan, which authorities quickly denied. This led to speculation that the government, driven to desperation, was considering selling the giant Buddha. Public data clearly illustrates the financial strain faced by many Chinese local governments. In 2022, the general public budget revenue of Lishan was 14.8 billion yuan, yet its expenditure soared to 315 billion yuan, epitomizing a situation where income falls short of expenditure. Additionally, Lishan's local debt balance stood at 64.3 billion yuan. In other words, Lishan would need to survive without any expenditures for 4.3 years to clear its debt as long as debt doesn't increase. This figure only accounts for the explicit debt, as the scale of implicit debt remains largely untraceable. The financial woes of Lishan are not a recent development. They remained concealed in the past due to the real estate sector's support, which relied on land sales for sustenance. However, following the real estate downturn after 2021, Lishan's financial troubles have become more apparent. Financial crises have also impacted the income of national civil servants. On October 11th, a photo went viral online of a banner reading, 31 staff members of the Xiqian branch of the Linfen City Ecological Environment Bureau collectively strike. Typically, government jobs are highly sought after as they are seen as stable. Why then would civil servants, having gone through strenuous efforts to secure such positions, willingly abandon them? Many netizens speculate that due to local government financial constraints in recent years, these government workers weren't being paid. Currently, the salaries of civil servants in several Chinese provinces have been quietly reduced. A female civil servant from Zhejiang recently revealed that her salary had been cut by 25%, about 50,000 yuan, sparking widespread attention and discussion. Additionally, some Weibo users reported that since December, civil servants in Shanghai, Jiangsu, Zhejiang, Guangdong, and Fujian have received salary cut notifications, with reductions ranging from 20% to 30%. On December 2nd, NetEase reported many civil servants confirming that their salaries were cut. In some areas of Guangdong, subsidies are being deferred, with only basic wages being guaranteed. Civil servants' subsidies are delayed by 2 months, while teachers are postponed by 1 month. An example cited by netizens points out that the annual salary of a police station chief in Shanghai was reduced from 350,000 to less than 200,000 yuan, while the salary of a section-level civil servant dropped from 240,000 to 150,000 yuan. Many netizens commented, "The good days for civil servants seem to be over," and "It seems the financial pressure is really high." Previously, Shenzhen offered subsidies of 15,000 yuan for bachelor's degree holders and 25,000 yuan for master's degree holders for household registration, which have now been cancelled. Shenzhen, one of the wealthiest cities in the country, taking such measures implies even more challenging subsidy fulfillment in other cities. Regarding the current economic situation, official Chinese economists within the system have issued warnings. Professor Jin Qilin of the School of Social Sciences at Tsinghua University cautioned that the upcoming years might be the most challenging period since the economic reforms and opening up. He attributed this to threats from debt, industrial chain shifts, and carbon decline, pointing out a major issue in the domestic economy: insufficient internal demand. International economic observers note that it is highly unusual for official Chinese economists to openly acknowledge the country's economic difficulties. They believe this is a deliberate move by the authorities to prepare the public for challenging times ahead, signaling to all social strata that tougher days are coming and to be mentally prepared for the future.